I had barely turned the key in my garage door opener when I heard the shriek. "That's my car. He's stealing my car." The sound pierced through the quiet Saturday morning like a siren, and before I could even process what was happening, my neighbor Karen from the HOA was sprinting down the street, phone in hand, yelling into it like a movie extra in a crime drama. I froze, halfway in my driveway, staring at the shiny blue Tesla that sat peacefully inside my garage. My Tesla, my pride and joy that I'd worked overtime and saved for 2 years to buy. And now, apparently, it was hers. Karen was one of those neighbors you heard about in Horror Stories, the self-proclaimed protector of community standards. She'd sent me violation notices for having my garbage cans out 10 minutes too long, accused my dog of intimidating stares, and once even demanded I trim my hedges because they were too symmetrical for the neighborhood aesthetic. But this time a broken bar, she truly lost it. As I stood there, confused, she came charging up my driveway, eyes wild. "Put down the keys. That's my car. I just bought that exact Tesla from the dealer 2 days ago, same color, same wheels." She waved her phone at me like a badge. "I'm calling the police." I raised my hands, trying to stay calm. "Karen, this is my car. I've had it for over a year. I can show you the registration." She ignored me, pacing back and forth like she was guarding evidence. "You think you can just steal my car and repaint it? Not in this neighborhood. I'm on the HOA board, and I will press charges." Within minutes, 2 police cruisers rolled up the street, lights flashing, sirens muted but visible. Great, just great. Neighbors peeked out from their curtains, and I could practically feel their judgmental eyes burning holes through my back. Officer Mitchell, who'd responded to a noise complaint from Karen just last month, stepped out first. "What's going on here?" he asked, exasperated already. "She stole my car," Karen blurted out, pointing at me like she was uncovering a major crime. Mitchell turned to me, brow raised. "Sir, can you explain?" "Yeah," I sighed. "It's my car. I can show you proof right now." I handed him my registration, insurance, and ID, all matching perfectly. Karen crossed her arms. "Fake. He must have hacked the DMV or something. My Tesla looks exactly like that. I picked it up 2 days ago from Electric Auto downtown." The officer held back a smirk. "All right, Karen, why don't we verify that?" He called the dealership, putting it on speaker so we could all hear. The manager confirmed immediately. "Yes, Miss Karen did buy a blue Tesla Model 3, but hers was delivered to her this morning. It's still en route to her house. He should be there within the hour." The silence that followed was priceless. Karen's face turned redder than a stop sign. She blinked rapidly, muttering, "That a broken bar, that can't be right." "Are you sure?" Officer Mitchell handed my papers back and gave me an apologetic nod. "You're free to go, sir." "Sorry for the trouble." But I wasn't angry. Not yet. I was humiliated. My neighbors were still watching, whispering, judging. Karen, however, looked utterly defeated but not sorry. Instead, she mumbled something about misunderstanding and stomped off toward her house, muttering that mistakes happen. I thought that would be the end of it. Oh, I was wrong. 2 days later, I received a formal HOA complaint in my mailbox. Apparently, storing stolen property violated community rules. She'd filed it after the police cleared me. My patience snapped. I decided to handle it the right way, not with anger, but with facts. I gathered every document I had, purchase receipts, DMV records, and even photos of me with the car from over a year ago. Then I attended the next HOA board meeting in Karen's domain. When it was my turn to speak, I stood calmly and placed the evidence folder on the table. "Before we discuss any new violations," I said, "I think the board deserves to know how one of its members misused HOA power to harass a resident." Karen's smirk vanished. I laid out everything: the false report, the police call, the embarrassment she caused, and the baseless complaint she filed afterward. I even read a written statement from Officer Mitchell confirming that the report was unfounded. The other board members looked horrified. When I finished, I said quietly, "I moved to this neighborhood for peace, not to be treated like a criminal by someone who abuses authority. The HOA isn't supposed to bully people, it's supposed to protect them." There was a long silence. Then, the chairperson of the board spoke up. "Karen, given the evidence, I think we need to review your position on the HOA." Karen's jaw dropped. "You can't do that. I've served here for years." But they could. And they did. She was suspended pending review, and within 2 weeks, she resigned entirely. The morning after the news spread, I saw her new Tesla finally sitting in her driveway. She couldn't even look at me when I waved politely. But I didn't need revenge. The truth had already done the work for me. Months later, the neighborhood began to change. People smiled more. The HOA started focusing on community events instead of petty rules. And one afternoon, as I washed my car in peace, Officer Mitchell passed by and called out, "Looks like no one's calling 911 on you today, huh?" I laughed. "Guess not." He smiled. "Keep it that way." As the sun set and my garage door closed behind the same blue Tesla that once caused chaos, I couldn't help but think sometimes justice doesn't need to be loud. Sometimes, it's just the quiet peace that comes after the storm. Message: when false accusations and power trips threaten your peace, let patience and truth be your defense. In the end, calm dignity speaks louder than ultra Shia and always wins.